there. The Hangout is in air, is live, yes. Well, I just want to say hello to you. I want to speak about housing and family structures. We recently had changes in the government which would not be against my Christian beliefs. That there wouldn't be fodder to allow marriages between the same sexes because I see it as inequality. We should have a facility for people maybe to live together of different persuasions, same sexes, etc. But to call it marriage is to infringe on a thing which there is equality to a sense. But then again, you never get total equality. You might have equality in one sense, but then on the other hand, you get inequality. For example, if you wear two shoes, you have a right and a left, because we all have left and right feet. Most people, anyhow, that I know. If you put two right shoes together, well, it might be much good to you. So if you put a man and a woman together, that's making an inequality in marriage. Because I feel you have equal male and female. If we go to a committee, we're supposed to have male and female on the committees. Most government-funded committees now suggest maybe 40%. So it doesn't mean that they're making love or doing anything on the committee. Far from it, like they're looking for the rights or what they want, their aims and objectives pursued. So with that in mind, anyhow, it seems that there's problems down the line. We just seems to have gone a bit off the usual run. We should have a facility for people that are of gay persuasion, but we should call it different marriage, not interfere with it, and then it would be equal. Because even within a marriage with two people, you haven't equality. How could you? It's nearly impossible. You have to define very precisely what you mean by equality. Otherwise, you're having inequality. I do feel a laissez-faire society will be coming onto us again if we don't do something about it, because world governments, globalization, for example, which we have in the EC, you have about 26 people with power or economic power controlling it. They're not elected. Very good, very bad. But you're going to have another problem now coming up. What I want to really get at is not about who's married to who, but the fact that family relationships now break down a lot. You see lovely looking couples and you'd say, oh gosh, he'd never leave you one or he'd never leave him. But they do break up. What I do feel the council would need to consider, or all councils, building communes, places like might have one room, two room apartments, and there could be a meal like in a college. There was a certain time for meals during the day when people could all avail of the meals, and you might have certain families living in these communes. It's up to the people that's paid 50, 60 and maybe more thousand a year to design them. It's not for me to design them. It's a suggestion. I see it's a way forward. People looking for houses, maybe they go, I'm using the term very lightly, but I'm very realistic what I say. I haven't my church gear on tonight, but what you need to have is something where people could live and be able to work. You could have a communal place for putting your washing, for example, like in some of the colleges, or most colleges. In the UK, and they're very good, I must say. Excellent facilities in a lot of the English and Scottish colleges that I was in Welsh. And I'm not too familiar with that, but I'm assuming Dublin is quite good too if you're living in a student's department. But what we need is a bit more upmarket than the average student department. Communes where people can live, they can all be serviced. It'll be more economic for capital if this is all worked out and provided, because there's two things that people get married for years ago. There was three things actually. There was a Christian belief, men and women living together to procreate was another part of the reason. And the third reason was for capitalism. It was a cheap way of financing housekeepers, where the woman, more or less, literally speaking, did the washing. Maybe took abuse, maybe she gave abuse. I'm not going to say, but I wasn't there to say it. But I do feel there's definitely a need for communes, and if we don't do something about it, we're getting behind the times. That doesn't mean that you have to give up your Christian beliefs, because most Christian religions, I believe, it's a man and a woman should be married in a civil relationship or a church relationship, especially. But now we have it that anybody can get married. Well, if that's the case, there's inequality. Maybe you should be able to marry some buckcoat. And another question you could bring up: should people be allowed to have as many legal wives as they want? So there's even a lot of problems here. We take certain religions that believe in having as many wives as they like. I think the Mormon, they are not being discriminated now. You see, this is an awful blasted word since we got to the EC. Discrimination and equality. And when you go to do it in practice, it's very, very blew out of all proportion. It's not as simple as it looks. So I wish no disrespect to anyone of their sexual gender, because we can't have the way we're made. I might have an ugly face and someone else is blah, blah, blah. But a beauty skin deep. It's about living together, living in harmony and loving Earth. If you love Earth, you'll have kept the commandments. Respect Earth. We've global warming, and with the big businessmen controlling multinationals, a lot of that could be brushed to the wayside. Like, man will eventually bring about his own destruction. And it's not something I want to see, but it's going to happen. The world will be destroyed by fire at some stage. We may have a nuclear accident related to an earthquake or something like that. You know, it's like an awful lot of these prophecies is coming out. Like, you won't be able to tell man from animal. Social standards are breaking down, which they are at the moment, and we're heading for a disaster. It'll soon be impossible to get people to work honest if we keep going on the way we're going. That doesn't mean there's not a lot of honest people in the world. There is, but there's people that have to be dishonest for certain reasons. And of course, we must define what honesty is. That's another broad question. What do we mean by honesty? Back to my question again. I'm making an argument. We do need communes because there's evidence there for the next 30, 40 years that there's a lot of breakups in families, people living in one room or two rooms, and it could be very handy, more economic if you had communes instead of renting separate flats where all your food could be provided like a house. You get your washing done, and there could be, services you could pay for. And the economics of it should work out cheaper. So if the council or councils would build some communes, I think it'd be a good idea. We know there is flats, but we could make an eating place on it, and for the general public. You may say to me they are here in some counties. I can't speak for all that, but I do feel there's the need for communes. Now, what I define a commune is, it'll be similar to living in a. It's not just the same, but living, say, in a halls of residence, which you would have at colleges. You have a better system worked out. People could meet people, and it could be all under one roof, and you'd have economies of scale if you're getting taxis or anything like that. And cities, I think it is the way forward. But having said that, we're going to have to do something about the drug situation, because that's getting near epidemic levels. And it's sad for people. People sell drugs to make money because there's maybe other guys in government getting over £1 million over a couple of years. I think that's what this teacher class in a country that's supposed to be. This isn't very moral at all. To me, it's criminal. It's probably what they call legal crime. it's legal. Criminality for such a thing. So it's very hard to know what to do, but we definitely need communes. And eventually, the way the country is going, you're going to see. I know Christian beliefs don't go ideas, but it's heading to go to see euthanasia, and you'll see people being market force will determine like who'll be treated in hospitals. It's heading that way if we don't do something about it. What we need to do now is to revolt, to get organised revolt, not just talking like me sitting in the bed here. I hear a lot of people talking, but you want to get, no point in shouting shame on you. That works for a while. Help a guy, it would work, but I don't think it'll defer people that's making millions from what they're doing. We'll have a bit of a panicking and skimmaging there in another couple of months when the elections are coming. You'll be promised the sun, moon, and the stars, and I wouldn't believe God save you, especially of any party that's centre or to the right. You want to book a left party if you're one of the masses. The majority of people here would not be very wealthy because the wealth's controlled by a certain very low percentage. So there's going to be a greater need for communes, and communes that people can afford to live in. So that's all I'm going to say to you now, and I wish you all very well, and hope I have give you some food for thought. Maybe think about it, because that's what we all need to do. Think about it. So let us think about it. Now, you're just thinking now, looking at me now, you're probably saying, Heinz here is mad, because I've said that many things over the years since I'm a young gasson of 11 years of age. I'm reading things into the digest. We've become Americanized. They don't approve of it. Because people coming for tourism here would like to see detached colleges and all that type of life, narrow roads. Nah, we've passed the adoptive. We've busted the ideology of coming here as a tourist. And then, of course, to come to Ireland to be ripped off is another thing. With the weak euro, of course, it's allowing people from Britain to come here. But we want to get our act together, because if the euro is devalued, it'll be another problem. So it all is boiling down to be more separations in relationships, married or whatever way to live together, to be breaking up. There's evidence of that. So then there's rights and all these issues coming to the fore. If you're still part of the EC, which I hope we're not, because it doesn't work, globalization. Capitalism always exploits, and it's a terrible thing. I went to study over 30 years. Well, yes, I felt it was a terrible thing. Too much exploitation, because people get greedy. We do need companies to work, but I do feel getting away from nationalisation is a problem. You need a bit of it to keep control. Selling off airports in Ireland, to make it a few bob, you're really recolonising the place. It's a different form of colonisation than we had before. It's landlord. Well, they are landlords, but they're absentee, and they're dodging the tax. Some of these big guys, they're living as tax exiles in different countries, not naming them. You know them. You're not stupid out there. So just think about what you think about communes, how it could be done, and I'll give you a very crude in a scenario what I see happening. But in the next 10 years, it'll be diabolical in this world, the way we're heading. So we will need places for people to live unless they sleep in the streets. I'm going to say God bless you, and I don't care what's against the rule. I speak from the heart. And God love you all. Love earth. Get to love your fellow man. Help your fellow man. Because it's a very cruel world, a capitalist world, when you live in the real system. Too many laws and regulations now. And anybody starting a small business, it's lunacy to run the business right. I'd hate this. Have to start a small business now with all the clauses and taxes. And well, I'm talking about a one-man outfit or two-man outfit. It's bloody terrible, you know. This system is geared for the big man, and if it's geared for the big man, he gets control. We lose democracy, which we see the evidence of. Now, I could give you about 50 lectures or talks to bring into my line of thinking. Some people don't understand what I'm talking about. There's people with arts degrees wouldn't see it. I says at a meeting I was at the other day, I says, first of all, if you're on low money, you want to vote left because the big man is only looking after profit maximization. I don't like giving big words to people that's not able to understand them, because I want to speak that a 13-year-old child can understand. So maximizing profits is a big thing for all investors. And let's face it, people may not be selfish and they may be selfish, but a lot of people that I know like to make as much money as they can, and that maybe not worrying where it's made or what it's made. There's a need for solidarity with people, cultural identities as racism. You do have a lot of problems when you mix racistic and misunderstandings and all this, and it's a multicultural society here, but we can go so far that it'll become an unruly society. I don't know what name you'll put it on it. It is becoming unruly at the moment, and it's time we had change in the government and a new light on the subject, and not be paying bankers' bills, causing austerity. No, you can't do that. But unfortunately, that's the way we're caught up here at the moment. So I'll even love you and just leave you some food for thought now on the communes and my reason for it. God bless you all.